What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast, a video game show. I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you as well. How are you this fine evening?
Doing all right.
Yes.
I have been, well, you know what, we'll save it for the
We'll save it for the
chit chat.
We'll save it for the chit chat. Let's save it for the chit chat. Well, that chit chat is what follows before, or comes before, our jumping into the video games that we love, the ones we hate, and the ones in between that we talk about here on Team Chat Podcast every single week. And you can listen to those episodes on podcast services around the World Wide Web, such as Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and others. You can also watch a video version of each episode over on our YouTube channel. In the description down below, you'll find links for all of that, as well as links to our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I don't even remember. I don't keep up with our social media stuff that well anymore because we're mostly on Discord.
Yes.
So you can find our link for all of that over in the description below, wherever you're listening to or watching the episode, where you'll also find a link to our merch store, where you can buy hats. Yes, you can buy hats, shirts, mugs, other fun goodies with the Team Chat logo on them. And then, of course, if other ways you can help support the show and make it bigger and better, you can head over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, just like Allison H., Fuchsia, Ark, Brandon W., Bro Mogan, Ace Jokai, Erica L., Michael B., Michael S., Snooty Boots, Susan M., and Zach S. have done. They have gone over there where as little as $1 a month. They've supported the show. And in return, you can get cool perks like getting the episodes early before their general weekly release, access to a private channel on our Discord server, the Rogues Gallery, as well as a patron-exclusive show. Ooh, you all right there?
Goodness, Birdie.
Birdie had a little cough there, little cough. But a patron-exclusive show called Team Chit Chat, where you can listen to Mogan and I wax nostalgic, is what people say, about topics not related to video games, or just kind of our real warm-up before we get started into the episode. And all that is, like I said, completely exclusive for our patrons. But if you can't do that, support the show on Patreon, that's no big deal at all. There are tons of free ways to support the show and spread the good word, such as telling your friends, subscribing wherever you listen to or watch the show, as well as writing us reviews, interacting with us online. All of that great stuff.
Commenting on the YouTube videos.
All of that stuff gets the good word of Team Chat Podcast out to the masses. And for that, we are eternally grateful and love each and every single one of our viewers, listeners, and patrons alike.
Heart emoji. XOXO smooches.
Well, before we get into the main topic of the day, let's get a little bit of news and what's coming out soon in a moment with Mogan.
All kinds of stuff is either coming soon or out now. I'm not going to backtrack too much, but just in case you missed it, because I feel like it might be kind of flying under the radar, Reanimal is out now for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. This is one of those co-op, I don't want to say cutesy because that's really not true, but kind of creepy cute horror games, and it looks like it's going to be heavy on the horror, a la Little Nightmares, but maybe even a little bit scarier than that. So if you're into that, check out Reanimal. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma is also out now for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. We've got Astro Botanica in early access for PC. Caves of Quud. Couldn't say it last time, can't say it this time. That is only out for the Switch right now. Or this is the Switch port. Unclear. Aerial Knights Dropshot is out now for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. We've got Avowed making its way to PlayStation 5 this month. Forgotlings is out now for PC. We've got a couple of Subnauticas making their way to the Switch 2. The original game Subnautica Below Zero, is also on the Switch 2 now. We've got Under the Island for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Everything except iOS and Android. We've got Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. Death Howl for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. I feel like this vaguely rings a bell. Death Howl? I gotta look back into that. I feel like that might be one I had my eye on. But in other news, we've got Demon Tides for PC out this month, Love Eternal for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC, Paranormasight, I am interested in this game, Paranormasight, The Mermaid's Curse is coming to Switch 2, Switch, and PC this month as well. Then we've got Styx, STYX, Blades of Greed.
Oh, okay. I know that series.
Yeah. For PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. One of the guys that I work with, I don't know him personally, but he's a good friend of a guy that I do work with, and I have only ever known him as Dr. So-and-so, like very button up, like
Yeah.
very, like he's a doctor.
Yeah.
But I learned from his friend that apparently when they were like in college or high school or whatever, and they're both really into sports, they used to call him Sticks with like an ST because he would ski. So
Yeah.
like STIX, and it is all the marketing team talks about now.
Hilarious.
We're like, hey, have you talked to Sticks recently?
How's Sticks doing?
He actually, I think he's on paternity leave right now because his wife just recently had, I think, their second child.
Oh, nice.
And somebody asked like, oh, what's her name? And we were like, Baby Sticks.
It's Baby Sticks.
It's Baby Sticks.
Sticks
Yes,
Jr..
Sticks Jr. Anyways, in other news, we've got Paladins for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 and Switch coming on February 20th, and then yet another installment in the Ys series. We've got Ys X, Proud Nordics for PlayStation 5, Switch 2, and PC. We're going to have to ask Kirok about that.
Oh,
one
yeah,
when it
that's right.
comes
He's a big
out.
fan of that series.
Yeah. A mobile game that I don't care about. We're going to switch that. Some other stuff I don't care about, and everything else is pretty later in the month, so let's circle back to that later.
Cool.
And then just something that I forgot to talk about when we were doing our most anticipated episode.
Ooh, which one?
I mentioned in the Discord because Ark got onto me about it because she was totally right. I forgot about Detective Grimoire and the Mermaid Mask.
Yes.
This is one that was maybe going to come out last year, but then didn't, and it has not had a release date. It still doesn't have a release date, but the developers did recently say, okay, summer 2026. So fingers crossed that that's true. Detective Grimoire and the Mermaid Mask may or may not be coming out to PC and consoles in summer of 2026. I really hope it does, because this is a direct sequel to the previous Detective Grimoire game, Tangle Tower, which you might recall I reviewed ages ago and loved it.
I remember Tangle Tower.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Professor Grimoire.
I kind of just left that part off.
So you just called it Tangle Tower.
I just called it Tangle Tower.
Okay, so I remember that. Yeah.
So anyways, this is part of that same series. The art style is phenomenal. The character designs are so fun and cool. And I just really liked the detective. You know, I love a good detective game.
Yeah.
It was short and sweet. The previous one was, at least. Not any gist of like how long the next one might be. I honestly hope it's not too long. I hope it's another like short and sweet one. But anyways, I'm excited about that, and it's maybe going to come out this summer. So if you're into that kind of stuff, keep your eyes on Detective Grimoire and the Mermaid Mask.
Very nice, very nice. What were you starting to say before we got started? You said you'll save it for the chit chat.
Oh, just for like the shoot the shitting part.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think we're there.
When you asked like, how have you been? I was just going to be like, man, me and the homies, everybody I know in the Discord, we're all back on that Nintendo DS life.
Oh, really?
Like literally everyone has gone back to the DS, and I also got swept up in the mania. I've actually been going back to the DS and playing through a Professor Layton game that I
fun.
never finished. So I've been playing Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. The reason I think I never finished this one is kind of when Professor Layton got into the 3DS era, and they were really trying to like optimize on the 3D aspect of the machine. It was like, ooh.
And you're like, could we not?
Can we
Can
not,
we just have a
though?
game, please?
So I will say that because they tried to 3Dify it, the art design and like the character design of Layton and the other characters are not as charming. It's so funny because like there are really good animated 2D animated cutscenes in the game of like the important story parts, and that's when the game looks phenomenal. But then as soon as you get out into like the regular world and the characters are in 3D, but they're against these beautiful 2D painted backgrounds, it's like, why? You didn't have to do this. You could have just kept it all 2D and it would have been beautiful.
Okay, I got to see what this looks like 3D.
It's still an okay looking game. It's just, if you're not using the 3D effect, which I always leave turned off.
Was that optional?
Yeah, you can just turn the 3D off and make everything nice and flat, and it really doesn't matter for any of the puzzles. It just should have been a 2D game, and it's annoying that they had to make it 3D.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
all-
never
that's
going
all
to find
box
it.
art. You're never gonna
I'm never
find
going to
it.
find it. It's fine.
I should have just brought my DS.
It just showed me.
But in other news, guess what I realized?
What?
Mine obviously isn't worth this much, but I have a Nintendo 3DS XL Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds Special Edition, the fancy gold one. I was just curious, so I like Googled how much that system is worth now. If you have an unopened new one, they're going on eBay for $1,800.
Holy shit. What's an open one going for?
Like still $400.
Holy shit.
I know, right?
Damn.
So I was like, oh, this can never leave my house again.
Yeah, no.
I didn't realize
I'm not
I was
taking this out
sitting
on like
money.
trips and just like showing
Oh my
people being like,
God,
look at
yeah.
my gold
Look at
Legend
my
of
fancy
Zelda.
gold 3DS, not realizing I'm sitting on a gold mine.
Sitting on literal gold.
Literal gold mine.
That's pretty cool. Man, it's
Oh,
fun.
man.
I will say, like, that's one of the things. I don't think really I have anything. I don't really think I do. Of like old childhood toys or anything like that like would be worth something. But it's so fun whenever like at the store when people come in and they're like, hey, I want to sell this or something like that. And you're just kind of like, do you know what this is? And they usually don't.
Yeah.
And it's very fun because it's like, oh, this is my dad's collection. This is, something like that. A buddy gave this to me and now I just, kind of the thing. And it's always fun whenever you get that one where you're like, hey, this is actually something that's
worth a lot of money.
pretty cool.
Good job.
So it's very fun. It's very fun to see that stuff.
That's nice.
Slash, it's getting more interesting to me, like learning the economy of collectibles a little bit is been very fun because it's like we went up for Valentine's Day. Sam took me to that Star Wars store that's all the way up north.
Oh yeah,
you went with me.
I've been. Well, I've been to
there.
the outside.
You've been to the outside. You didn't go inside. You didn't cross the threshold
And
into
then when Sam
ultimate nerddom.
when Sam and I drove back up, we honked at Jerrett
And still didn't want
and
to come
made
back
fun
in.
of him for looking like a nerd. Just
That's right.
standing
Just
there
running
on the
outside with all my toys. But yeah, so we went back up there, and when we were there walking around, because they had some graded comics or various things in there, Star Wars related, and they were worth some money. And so I was like, I guess your collections that you're getting now are like actual investments in a way. And I was like, kinda. I mean, that's like what I'm
Kind
shooting
of.
for. Like,
Yeah.
is to get especially stuff at the store, just like this could be something big and cool. And
That fucking Jar Jar.
the Jar Jar, that's going to be worth $1,000.
Well, we'll see about that.
I mean, but it's like I was telling you that dork one.
Yeah.
I bought it for $5 and it's now like $85 or
Damn.
something like that because it blew up.
The ROI on that.
I
to
know, it's
calculate
great.
The investment.
Will that stay? Probably not.
Maybe.
But for now, it's cool. So who knows? But
You gotta
yeah,
find the
all that
author and get
stuff.
it signed. Then it'll be worth
That
a
would be
bazillion
very
dollars.
cool. That would be very cool. That actually is what I would do. Is like take some of my favorite Star Wars cards, like from the Star Wars Unlimited trading card game and stuff like that, and get those like signed by somebody. That would be pretty sweet. That would be really cool.
When do the what are the Star Wars conventions? When and where do you go for those?
Well, there's always the big like Star Wars celebration, and that's like the yearly big con. Oh, although they have been kind of like they've been putting breaks in between it now. It used to be like every year when they were like actively making the movies and shows.
Is it the kind of con that moves around?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's been in LA before, and then last year actually it was in Tokyo. And I really wanted to go because
we should have gone to that.
I know, because it would have been like so fun. It was going to be cheap
I
as
would have
hell.
just dropped you off at the convention center, and
You
I'd
would
go
have
do
gone.
other shit.
You would have gone too. You would have known it was fun. But yeah, so like I want to go to that because that would be awesome. But then actors and stuff like that come to various cons around. Like I'm pretty sure like Katie Sackhoff, who is Bo-Katan, and like Daniel Logan, who played young Boba Fett and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they make the rounds to like the San Antonio Comic-Con and stuff like that. So
I've heard San Antonio Comic-Con is actually pretty good.
I've heard it's pretty good too.
We should go sometime.
We should
Yeah.
get out and about in the
Yeah.
world.
I work in San Antonio. I drive down there all the
There you
goddamn
go.
time.
There you go. We should go.
Well,
Anyway.
let's find out when it is this year.
But yeah, so I really want to go to that. One of my buddy Zach actually is going to MagicCon this year.
Ooh, is that always up in the West Coast?
I think so.
That seems like one of those Seattle or maybe San Francisco
I think so
ones.
because I feel like that's where Wizards is or something like that. But
yeah.
He it was his birthday present from his wife is going to MagicCon, and I was
Cool.
like, look, that's going to be cool.
Big Texas Comic-Con.
Big Texas Comic Con.
Oh, it's not until October. We've
What
got
the hell? We got plenty of
time
time
to plan.
Plenty of time. All right, but.
That's not actually what
That's
we're
not
here to
what we're
talk
actually
about
here.
today,
We got
right?
like a huge like turn off on our shoot the shit part of the
Wait,
session.
okay, quick
wait,
pause
wait, who's
because
coming?
San Antonio Comic-Con is going to have Neville Longbottom from the Harry Potter movies
Oh
this
my.
year.
Who else?
Who's this
Oh,
guy?
Frank Grillo. Okay, yeah, he pops up and stuff. Garrett Hedlund. Okay, I know of him, but not like really followed him. Randy Quaid.
Oh, I recognize this man's face.
Yeah, he's a oh my god, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. McLovin.
That's awesome.
Oh, Michael Bain. Cool.
Sure.
Edward Furlong.
Oh, wow. Gabriel.
Ooh.
Whoa.
He was in The Last of Us.
Actually, Gabriel Luna, excuse me. He was recently on an episode of The Command Zone.
Oh.
And I'm not super
what's
familiar.
Command Zone?
Huh? Oh,
What's
it is
Command
a
Zone?
very popular Magic the Gathering live play series.
Okay, cool.
But it's on YouTube. Command Zone is really good if you're into Magic the Gathering. It's also really good for like learning the rules because they really take the time to like
Stop and be
explain
like,
what
"This
they're
is
doing.
what's happening."
Yeah.
Ooh, I should watch that.
But anyways, he was on there. I have no idea like who he is or really what he's about. I guess I haven't really seen anything with him in it. But just from that episode, I was like, this dude rules. He seems so chill and cool.
Yeah.
He was such a good guest on there. So
Well, did you watch The Last of Us show?
no.
He's Joel's brother, Tommy, in
Who's
The
Joel?
Last of Us. Pedro Pascal, the main character.
Oh, wait, in The Last of Us? Oh God, sorry. I don't know why.
I was like, what?
No, I don't know why I was disconnected, but my brain heard The Last of Us, but
Yeah.
went to The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter
zombies.
anyways because I haven't seen either.
Man,
but
quick aside.
at least now I know who Joel. I know who Joel is.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know who Joel is. I've talked about Joel a lot. But no, he plays Joel's brother in the show.
Okay, gotcha.
But no, speaking of...
Bob, Bill, what's his name? Randy.
Oh, wait, Randy Quaid?
No, I'm thinking of like, what is Joel's brother's name?
Oh, Tommy.
Tommy, damn it. I was not close.
But no, we are all over the place today, but that's okay. That's what y'all are
Sorry.
here for. But no, what was it? It was something with that, a spinoff, a show. Fuck. I don't remember now.
The Talking Dead.
It maybe was Walking Dead related. I don't remember now. Oh well. I've been
It's
telling
gone.
Sam this happens a lot. Like I at work, I'll be like in the middle of doing inventory or something, and be like, "Oh, I gotta go get this from the back room." Walk into the back room as soon as I step in there. I'm like, "The fuck am I doing?"
We got to
back
get you
here?"
taking fish oils. You got to be on those omega-3s.
Just so much power is being processed through this brain. It can't keep
Oh
up.
boy, and all the GPUs are taken.
They really are. I got to keep up with video game knowledge, comics knowledge, Star Wars knowledge, general life knowledge.
That's
It's
way
getting
too
full.
much.
It's getting full up in the old processor.
Oh, tickets to Comic-Con actually aren't that expensive.
Oh, really?
2 tickets, only $74.
Oh, shit.
I kind of thought they were going to be more than that.
For San Antonio?
Yeah. For
Yeah.
Saturday, no less.
Looks like we're going to Comic-Con.
Yeah, that'll be
Hell
fun.
yeah. All right.
All right, keep October 10th open.
Okay, good to know. Schedule that in. Pencil that in.
Pencil that in. All right. Anyways,
But the main topic of the day is kind of going to be a bit of a quicker one because, like we talked about in last week's episode, Ghost of Sparta. No, sorry. God of War, Sons of Sparta was shadow dropped during the PlayStation State of Play that came out last week in February of 2026. And so I was like, hell yeah, I love me some God of War. I'm going to give Sons of Sparta a shot.
Nice.
This is confusing because there is a PSP game for God of War.
Ghost of Sparta.
Ghosts of Sparta.
Yeah,
So
that is
very
confusing.
And I just got finished playing Ghost of Yote, so the ghosts are in my head right now. But we are playing through, or I've started playing God of War, Sons of Sparta. And it is very different from the other God of War games in the fact that it is a 2D side-scrolling platformer. And so it is much different than even the older God of War games, the original God of War games, because those were top-down, like an isometric kind of looking, but the camera angle moves, so it would be sometimes in some parts of the game, more of a side-scrolly feel to it. But for the most part, those games were 3D hack-and-slash adventure games. Now, this is a prequel. It's actually taking place when Kratos and his brother Deimos are teenagers,
Mere young lads.
going through their Spartan training. And it's kind of the whole setup of this is that it's Kratos telling the story to his daughter Calliope, who was his daughter in Greece. So this is like even the events of the first God of War games and all that stuff. He's not yet the God of War, Kratos the demigod.
I did not know that. I didn't even know he had a daughter. I mean, I've
He
never played the original
He had a wife
series.
and daughter in the originals. And in his like rage of if I'm remembering the lore correctly, when Sparta was being invaded and all this stuff, he swore his oath or whatever that chained him to the gods. And basically in that like madness, he kills his wife and he winds up killing his wife and daughter.
Oh, okay. I knew he killed his wife. I
And
didn't
that's
realize
where
he
he
also
like
killed
gets
his
the
daughter.
ashes and like
Oh,
gets
okay.
all covered in the white.
thought it
and
was
all
just
of that
wife.
stuff. No, wife and daughter. So I
Damn,
don't remember his wife's
God.
name. Calliope is his daughter. And so this whole story is like there's obviously narrative bits that are in dialogue scenes with Kratos and Deimos and other characters in that time frame. But then you'll also overhear narration from Kratos, once again voiced by T.C. Carson, who voiced Kratos in the original series. And then you'll also hear him talking with his daughter Calliope, who in the previous games was not shown really other than just in cinematics and stuff like that. You still haven't really seen her in this either. You're just hearing them talk and everything about.
Do we get a sense of how old she was when Kratos killed her?
Under 10.
Oh, okay, so little. I didn't know if she had like made it to teens or
No.
what.
Like she was a child still when all of that happened. Yeah. I mean, which is what part of like fueled Kratos' rage. It was, if I remember correctly, he was like tricked in some way by Ares and everything. And that's how it happened. And so that's kind of like what fuels this just constant rage that Kratos has and what he's trying to overcome in the Norse saga and everything like that. So honestly, like it's really cool, like getting to see this because it is like a prequel because, like we said, it's Kratos as a kid. He's a child and everything like that in this game, and so or preteen at least, and so it's just very much just like seeing all this stuff that was always referenced and just seeing the little flashes like you do. Kratos talks about his brother Deimos in the older games and stuff like that. You know that he also was killed at some point. I don't remember if by Kratos or just through combat and stuff like that, or fighting with the gods and stuff like that. Because I want to say, if I'm remembering it correctly, that you do have some sort of conflict with Deimos in one of the first 3 God of War games, either as like a reanimated version of him, or just like some kind of like conflict with him. I could be misremembering it. It has been a very long time since I played the first 3 God of War games, but needless to say, all this is set up, so it's a very much different feel from the other God of War games, both tonally and gameplay-wise, because not only is it more of this... So far, it hasn't got super dark. I'm not all the way through the story yet. Like, I've only maybe like a couple hours into the game itself, but so far, the overall feel is just like a fun action-adventure platformer. You're going around being sent on various quests by this person, the sculptor in Sparta, who you kind of feel like is your like mentor, leader kind of thing. And he'll send you out on various quests. And you go with your brother Deimos, and Deimos will interact with you throughout your quests, but you're playing as Kratos. Now, the one thing that does kind of throw me off from this is because, we've all heard T.C. Carson and Christopher Judge's versions of Kratos. Yeah. Deep, booming, powerful voices. And so and then you'll hear T.C. Carson talking as Kratos to daughter Calliope. But then when young Kratos talks, he's just like, Deimos, let's go this way. And you're like, the fuck?
That's really funny.
Who is this young whippersnapper of which I am now playing? But you'll still go up, and so far you're fighting like mythical creatures and stuff like that, like you would be fighting in the original games. You'll fight like skeletons, some... there have been Cyclops that is a boss.
Gorgons?
So far, no Gorgons, but I would not be shocked.
Definitely gonna fight a Gorgon.
You'll fight a Gorgon.
Come on, there's gotta be Gorgon.
But it's cool because like the skeleton zombies that you'll fight will sometimes just walk up to you and just swing their sword at you. Sometimes they'll actually pull their head off and throw it at you, and then walk up and try to fight you. So there's a lot of different things like that. But I gotta say, I have been pleasantly surprised by the gameplay loop and everything like that so far. Not in that it's like, it's bad, but the previous platformer that I've had experience with before this one was Silk Song. So yeah. It's quite a bit different than that. And it's also nice being able to be like, hey, I know if I hit down and attack, I'm going to jump. I'm going to poke straight down. If I go up and attack, hey, guess what? I'm going to poke straight up. So it's like a little bit nicer like that, but like, oh, okay, phew. I'm not like having to learn controls and all the other fun stuff. A little bit more straightforward in how it goes. But I will say it does kind of pull in a little bit of blasphemous gameplay, I would say, in that you do have a parry. You have a shield parry and stuff like that you can use. And if you are able to hit it perfectly timed with your enemy's attack, it will do like a slow-mo, and you can do a nice counter attack for a little extra damage.
Cool.
There are some things from the God of War series that kind of get brought over. Like, for example, if you are able to defeat an enemy and build up its stun meter before you kill it, it will be stunned, and you can do like a cool fatal kill, like extra, like
a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yeah, like gory kill kind of thing. And so, that gives you a little bit extra stuff. You also will have your typical health meter. You also have your Spartan, I believe is what it's called, Spartan meter. And then you'll have your magic meter.
What's the justification for him having magic pre-gods?
It's basically, so in this one, it's not he necessarily has magic. He is gifted very early on in the game the like sling of Apollo. So he's still getting gifts and boons from gods. So it's kind of like, we got your eye on you. We know what we're going to be doing with you later in life. So hang on to that, you know?
Got
so
it.
it's like but it's very much like they find this sling from Apollo. And Deimos is like, you shouldn't take that. Like, this is like, we're in Apollo's temple. You know, you should not be taking this sling.
He takes something from Apollo's temple.
Well, because
that's definitely
they go
cursed.
into it and they like find it and they're like, well, and they're just like, because there's also this reference to like Spartans are okay with stealing as long as you don't get caught, kind of thing. Because it's like something like that. So he's just like, hey, look, Apollo left this as a gift. I'm going to take it. And so, you know, it has some stuff like that. And so it allows you to start manipulating different areas of the world to like either unlock gates. You can use it in combat as well, but obviously like you can use it to hit like buttons that are out of reach and everything like that to open doorways.
It's
so
your projectile.
It's your projectile. Okay. I don't know if there will be other things, but you also have this bust that you got from the sculptor that is imbued with some supernatural abilities, and you can use it as well.
Homies, you know how sometimes you just carry a bust around with you, just, you know, in case you need it.
It's a very common thing in the God of War series. In God of War 3, he pulls off what's the Helios?
I remember this.
He pulls off his head and uses it as a lantern. In God of War, the Norse ones, he has Mimir, who's just, you know, a head on his belt. He actually does a lot of stuff with disembodied heads.
I would argue, though, that a disembodied head kind of makes a little bit more sense because it's considerably lighter weight.
That's true than just a marble bust.
Yeah. That's pretty heavy.
But you can use that to like reveal hidden stuff in the world because, you know, it's the typical platformer. There is combat, yes, but there's also a lot of like some light puzzles, you know, exploration stuff that you have to unlock certain doorways to be able to get to special buffs, treasure chests, different stuff like that. It is the typical God of War 2 in that there are skill trees. You earn blood orbs from killing stuff and or destroying like pots and different things like that.
Classic.
Those blood orbs can then be used to unlock later abilities and skills. Very all of the original games, not as much the later God of War ones and how it lays out and how you get all this stuff. But I mentioned the Spartan and the magic meters that you have. It's an interesting thing because you go up to your enemies. You're fighting an enemy. Once you kill them and hit them, they will drop blood orbs and Spartan orbs.
I can't imagine why you're not saying bloworbs. it's such a fun opportunity.
Because that'll just make me trip up everywhere if I'm trying to say a new fun word.
Blorbs and sporbs?
Oh God! Instead of blood orbs and Spartan orbs. Okay,
sure,
yeah,
whatever.
It's going to be difficult.
And
Blorbs and sporbs. So you're trying to collect those. The Spartan orbs, the sporbs, if you will, allow you to then do a special kind of attack. You'll hold R1 and hit square for your attack. And when you do that and hit enemies with the Spartan charged attacks, then they'll drop green health orbs. Oh. So it's kind of like you're trying to like balance this because obviously the heavier opponents will, you'll be able to hit them a bit better. They'll be a bit more spongy, so you'll be able to get more health out of them. But also, there's not health drops throughout the world. Oh. So your health bar can like go down to 0 or like almost 0. And then if you're not in combat, it will recharge just the tiniest bit.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, you are having to balance gaining Spartan orbs, using those orbs to heal yourself, and then also like gaining blood orbs for your upgrades.
Is there anywhere in the game that like is sort of a healing checkpoint? Like, are there inns? Are there benches?
There are.
Okay.
Campfires.
Oh my God. Wow.
And very Dark Souls, very Jedi.
I was going to say
Fallen
so
Order.
Original.
You go to these, and even fucking what is it, Clear Obscure. You go, although I guess they had a campfire, but it was more the flags that I guess you would do that stuff. But it was camp.
Different.
But still, at these campfires and everything, that's where you save. That's where you learn new skills. That's where you enhance your weapons. Right now, I just have his spear and shield. And you can get like different spear tips, a spear end, which allows just like a different. It's basically so you got the pointy end and like the bludgeoning end, basically.
Oh, gotcha.
And so both ends can do various different things with whatever you have equipped to it. Like the end that I just got allows you to do a special like flourishing attack and everything like that.
It is funny to like try to reprogram my brain to think of Kratos in combat without his iconic weapons.
Right? Like the chains of Olympus.
It's
and
weird
in
to think
axe.
of like a basic spear and shield.
Yeah, it really is. And so but it's also very fun because it's, not only is it's just a whole new thing for the God of War series. It's a whole new like play style because it's the 2D platformer. It's the also different art style. I haven't talked about that yet, but the art of this game is incredible. I don't know what you would call it. It's just like a super smooth pixel art, but so I would call it 64-bit.
Yeah. I mean, that might be technically accurate.
Yeah.
I guess just like high-res pixel
I mean,
art. Like
it's high-res too.
Yeah,
like,
let's find
Kratos
out.
has got that high-res.
Maybe the Wikipedia says something about that.
But it's very smooth, and all the movements are like it looks pixel art, but with motion blur, kind of, is if I were to say it, where it's just everything's very smooth, everything looks really clean. The backgrounds are very pretty. Music's very, very good in this game too. Does it say?
Composed by Bear McCreary.
I figured it was Bear McCreary, but I just did want to do a double check on that one. But yeah, so Bear McCreary given the good music for it. And it's just so far, like I said, I'm very early into it, but the combat's fun. The exploration is really fun. I'm also playing it on Spartan, which because I love pain.
I was about to say, is that the hardest
That's
difficulty?
the hardest difficulty.
Nice.
But so far it hasn't been like ridiculous. There have been a couple bosses that I get hung up on and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool, but that's fine. I like having bosses that I get hung up on for a little bit and not just like running right through them. So that's fun because each one has like different stuff. It's also, there are move sets and different and everything. It's not just like hacking and hitting the square button over and over and over again. You just, you go like 1, 2, 3, and that's like a swoosh, big like flourishing attack. You can't just do the single attack. You can do the heavy attacks or the fatality attacks, executions. Thank you, that's the word I'm looking for. With triangle, you can switch in between your different other weapons with the D-pad. It's very simple and simplistic, and that's really nice. And I'm appreciating all of that. Just nostalgic throwback feeling platformer and everything like that.
Just a quick aside, Anthony Del Rio is who is voicing young Kratos.
Why do I know that name?
He has been in Kid Icarus. Maybe you know.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the fact that there was
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. He voiced somebody in that.
Okay.
He's young.
Okay, so it must not be anybody I know of. I must be thinking an old friend way back when, like 10,
Halo:
12.
The Fall of Reach.
Oh, the movie? Okay, then no, I don't know. But I probably don't know anything. I think the Del Rio part is triggering something in my brain because a friend like years and years ago used to date a guy who was in the naval, not Navy, Air Force, stationed in Del Rio, Texas. And so we just called him Del Rio. So I think that, similar to Styx, I think that's probably where that registered in my head. I do know a few other people, like Jack Quaid, Randy Quaid's nephew, is a voice in this game as well.
Oh, interesting.
So anyway, but it's just a fun, it just feels like an old throwbacky 2D side-scrolling platformer. The combat, like I said, is fun and engaging. There's lots to it because you do have like a typical dodge, roll, evades, all that stuff. Certain enemies will have the unblockable red attack that you have to evade. This one has actually 3 different ones, and I will say that is a little bit of keeping them straight because there is the red, which is unblockable. Then there's blue that I think you can't parry. And then there's purple. That's just you just got to get the fuck out of the way.
Oh, you just got to move. That's funny.
Move. So it's keeping those straight and everything too. But no, so far it's been a super great time. It's super fun getting this another story of Kratos that doesn't feel extra. You know what I mean? It's not why are we doing this? It's just a fun.
On that note, so the game is developed in partnership between Sony Santa Monica Studios and Megacat. So they're sort of why the game looks so new and fresh and why it's the Metroidvania style now. But the writers of this game are the same writers that did God of War 2018.
Oh, hell yeah.
So they this is
it's
that's what
team.
I was wondering. I was okay, is this considered canon? It is. So if you were wondering about whether or not the story is important to the overarching story of God of War, I would say yes.
And it's very cool too because at the State of Play, they also had TC Carson on for a special thing announcing that the original God of War saga is getting a remake.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like it's a nice little bridge to that too.
Yes.
It'll be a couple more years at least before that is out. And so they're hey, we're not doing anything with old Papa Kratos. We're working on young Daddy Kratos. And then here is Kid Kratos to kind of tide you over until then. So I don't know yet, how long the game is going to be or anything like that. But I would just say if you're a fan of platforms, you're a fan of God of War, give it a shot. It's a great time so far. It is something that I have found out. I did not know about this, but I found out that apparently once you complete the game, and we can talk about our thoughts on this for a little bit. Once you complete the game, you unlock a co-op mode, and you can play. One plays as Kratos, one plays as Deimos, and a friend can play as Deimos.
That's fun. Is Deimos on easy mode? I don't want to fight.
I don't know. He's probably like, OP, and he's just like, you've heard of Kratos, check out Deimos. He just fucking like snaps his fingers and people die. But that raised some concern because people were like, why is that locked behind me completing the game?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Okay, I see what you're saying now. So how do we feel about that?
Me, I'm fine with it because it would probably be like you or Bro Mogan or Cody who I would be playing online with. So it's not like I have somebody immediately who I'm like, hey, let's, I mean, you, yes, or Sam,
That's
but
a
it's
good
not
question.
like Sam probably wouldn't want to play God of War, Sons of Sparta with me.
I feel like she would not like that game.
And I feel like you would like it, but it wouldn't be your like end all be all. Yeah, hell yeah, let's play this.
I'm not like invested in Kratos' story,
So the fact of it being locked behind for completing it and making it, see, like I would be almost more frustrated from my standpoint if it was a co-op game that they were like, okay, but you can play it solo. That would, because then I would feel like, okay, I'm missing some stuff here or there. And maybe not getting that full experience as I have been playing it co-op. But then it's like, cool, I experienced the story solo. If I ever had the opportunity, now I can, kind of thing.
I feel that's fine.
It's not like something that I'm like gonna like pitchfork, torches and pitchfork people and raise a stink. It's just kind of an interesting choice.
I do think it's kind of an interesting choice. I definitely see where the people who are wondering why it wasn't just out of the box an option for the mode. Like, I get it, but also I think I'm kind of like my stance. I think I fall on the side of if it's like it does blur that line of whether or not it's supposed to be a single player game. Yeah. And I feel like it just depending on how you're trying to position your game, it's an easier sell to sell a single player game.
Well, because there also
I feel like I understand why they did it.
Yeah. And two, like if this is kind of like an in-between game, I don't necessarily see there being like a DLC or expansions, anything like that. So it's kind of like another way to provide longevity. You played this game single player, you enjoyed it, cool. Now you can play it with a friend.
Yeah, and most Metroidvanias, like the typical good Metroidvanias, I'm saying this with Hollow Knight and Silksong in mind, most of them don't overstay their welcome.
Yeah.
Most really good Metroidvanias are like 15 to 20 hours.
And that's kind of where I feel this game is going to fall to.
I feel like
the 8 to 10, 10
so
to 12.
That replay value, that makes perfect sense to me.
And so you've just got that, and you can go back to it. Another way to enjoy the game that probably won't have much different from it. And the thing about it, too, is it also doesn't seem like that it's going to necessarily change a whole lot from the game other than just, like, you would have somebody else there fighting stuff with you. Because there's not stuff that I've run into so far that's like, hey, I need to step on this, like, weighted play while you go
puzzles.
Over there and stand on that one to unlock this door. No. It doesn't seem like there's any of that stuff.
Okay.
So it really feels like it's just like, hey, I'm going to play Sons of Sparta. You want to hop in and be a Deimos while I'm Kratos? Sure. Let's go have a good time.
I like that. Yeah, I don't think that really bothers me that much. I understand that it might be something that you're annoyed with if you have somebody that you play co-op games with all the time.
Right.
But I feel like most people don't.
Most people don't, or in our circles anyway.
Yeah.
I would say most people don't.
I guess a lot of people
to play
kids.
Multiplayer games, but like we're not going to be, we're not like playing like,
no, like you said, I'm not pitch torching about that.
Yeah, no, nothing upset there. But so, like I said, I'm only a couple hours in, but so far, God of War: Sons of Sparta is super fun. It's also super fun just because it's super fun to get a shadow drop. Let me see how many times I can say super fun.
How much is the game?
$30.
$30. Okay.
I did think at first when it was going to be that, like we were recording our reactions and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to go get this right now. Because usually, I don't know, in my head, whenever stuff's shadow dropped, it's usually free. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And I loaded up the PS Shop after we were done. And I was like, $30? What is this shit? And then the next day I was like, fuck it, I want to play.
Yeah.
So I just paid the $30. So yeah, not even the like quote unquote full price $70 game. It's $30 to get you a really fun God of War focused and themed action platformer. So it's a good time.
That isn't a remake. It's a brand new installment.
Yeah, it's a brand new installment.
We
like
should always celebrate
there
those.
hasn't been that kind of installment in the God of War series before, so that's fun to see. It also has kind of got me going because one of the only games I've ever gotten to the end of and then been like, no, never mind, has been God of War Ascension for the PS3.
Oh.
It's kind of making me want to go back and give that one another shot.
Interesting.
But who knows if that will happen. Don't hold me to that.
Where does Ascension fall in the saga? Is it considered a, air quotes, mainline game, or was it a side game?
It's a mainline game, but it also, I want to say, it's either a prequel to God of War 2 or it happens in between God of War 2 and 3. They did some weird timeline stuff with some of those where they were throwing in the PSP games and stuff like that because those were all normally prequels or like side stuff.
Yeah.
And so so that their side things are kind of all over the place. This is one that's like the earliest a prequel has ever gone.
I see.
So.
Okay. Interesting.
But anyway.
Well, anyways, sounds like a good game.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice new Metroidvania for people to get their claws on.
Exactly. So, with that, rage on, fellow Spartans.
What a sign off.
No, but yeah, if you have played God of War Sons of Sparta and have thoughts, we would love to hear them. So send us an email at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com. Jump on our Discord, talk about it with us there, or leave a comment wherever you're listening to or watching the show. But with that concludes this episode of Team Chat Podcast. We'll see you on the next one, everybody. Until then, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined by Rachel.
Adios.
We'll see you next time.